Plugged. What up, Luke? Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Luke? How you doing? This fucking mic. See what Robert Reich has to say. This dude's always pretty on point. Where's my fucking shit at, dude? Whatever.
Friends, Trump again claims victory in Iran. He's claimed victory before, but now he has a so-called agreement with Iran. But it's not actually a deal of any kind. It's a memorandum of understanding. What does this even mean? Well, it stops the fighting for now and reopens the Strait of Hormuz for now. At best, the agreement Trump is touting restores the status quo to where it was before he decided to bomb Iran. But it does not directly solve the issue that supposedly caused Trump to initiate the conflict in the first place, Iran's nuclear program. According to the agreement, it leaves key nuclear issues to be negotiated over the next 2 months. Of course, remember that the Obama administration had reached an agreement with Iran to limit its development of nuclear-grade materials, which Trump revoked in 2018. So what exactly has been accomplished after several months of war with Iran? Iran now is under the control of a more extremist regime than when Trump started this war. Oil prices are far higher and will take some time to return to where they were before it began, if they ever do. Fertilizer shortages due to the closure of the strait have driven up food prices across the globe. The war with Iran has cost the United States an estimated $100 billion, and that's a conservative estimate. It has also caused widespread suffering throughout the Middle East and killed thousands of people, including 13 American troops and 120 Iranian school children. It has put Israel in a more precarious situation than it was before, and much of that is due to Benjamin Netanyahu, who's not even a party to and has not approved this agreement. This doesn't look like a victory. Compared to where the United States and the Middle East were on February 28th, when Trump began this war, it's a terrible failure. Friends, Trump again claims victory in Iran. He's claimed victory before, but now he has a so-called agreement with Iran. But it's not actually a deal of any kind. It's a memorandum of understanding. Yo. My mic's not working very well. Hang on. Memorandum of understanding. Why the fuck won't it? What is happening here?
One whopping indicator has come our way in the form of this, the resignation letter of one John Healey, the defense secretary, on a crucial day. This couldn't be worse for the already embattled Prime Minister.
This is, as they used to say in Fleet Street, a marmalade dropper. It's extraordinary that he's finally...
What's up, Mike? Mike 6331. Obama gave them billions. Shut up, liberals are so stupid. Bro, oh my fucking God, dude. It's funny because Trump gave them more billions, my friend. Jesus Christ. Holy fuck, your TDS is showing, little girl. Is that how you see me? You see me as a girl? I know you guys do. That's how you get around your very closeted behavior. You look at men as girls and women. It's strange. But I see now why you guys are so closeted and how you get around your closeted behaviors. Just a quick shameless plug for any of the closeted MAGA. You can come check out my OnlyFans account. It's fire. I pull my butt apart and everything over there, bro. You guys will love it. You'll fucking love it. I'm telling you. It's some freaky shit, but you'll get down with it, I promise. Free Palestine, absolutely. Tremendous dong syndrome, bro. That's true. What is wrong with this fucking... Hello, hello? Okay. It is I, everyone. Jesus. Jesus. Your God. I actually put my hand on Trump and saved his life. I let the firefighter die, but I saved Trump because he's a fucking genius, okay? He's a fucking genius. I'm gonna come. That's so funny, dude. I don't know why, but it gets me every time. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. Rest in piss, George Floyd. Rest in piss, George Floyd. Oh, did I hurt your fifis, bro? Is Charlie Kirk looking up at us from hell? He full-throated some stuff in the end. Charlie leaned left in the end. He leaned far left. Copy? You fucking mega cunts. You fucking cunts.
They've been brought to this extreme
Oh my God, this
of
is
resignation.
30 fucking minutes. I'm not watching that. We're not watching that one. Yes, I just watched fucking Scream 7, and oh my God, it's shit. Why the fuck won't this go down, dude?
Guys, I think Donald Trump may have just pulled off something honestly I didn't think was possible. He may
Yeah, the Scream 7 sucked. It was such a shit movie. He's protecting the terrorists while he's letting Israel get destroyed. Who? Israel's not getting destroyed, bro. Israel have been fucking up any talks of peace the whole time. Like every time Trump has come to some type of understanding with Iran, Netanyahu bombs the fuck out of him. Love me some Trump. Son of a bitch, he's alive. What's up, Joe? Good to see you, brother. I am alive.
managed to piss off
I'm
literally
here.
everybody, and that's not easy,
Love
man.
trainees
He's
way too
pissed
much.
off the anti-war crowd.
I don't understand why it always comes back to fucking trans people and gay people with you guys, man. Why? Past 10 years, I've been voting Republican, 120%, 120% MAGA, and if you don't believe me, ask Pyro. I think you're MAGA. I'd say you're MAGA. You're still MAGA, bro? How are you still MAGA after all this shit that Trump has lied about?
The interventionist crowd. Iran is mad. Israel's mad. Laura Loomer and Ben Shapiro are mad. Mark Levin, who's been praising Donald Trump, has now said this would have been 1,000 times worse than the deal before we went into Iran. Mark Levin laments the humiliating details of the MOU, taunts J.D. Vance, and defends Netanyahu. Levin
No, they're
lobbied
not.
Trump to reject the deal and launch this war, but he takes zero responsibility. All of them are mad, right? MAGA and the Patriots are now fighting each other. And now some are running around trying to explain why this is a victory, but looks more like a loss. Brother, when both teams are throwing batteries at the referee probably screwed up. So let's talk about it. Because what we're watching right now is one of the strangest political situations that I've really seen in years. For months now, we were told there was a plan. There was always a plan. We had J.D. Vance up there, Hegseth up there, Marco Rubio. There's a plan.
Sure,
Trust the
though.
president. Karen Levitt's up there. Trust the president. He knows what he's doing. Trust the process.
True.
The influencer online are telling us it's 4D chess, man. Trust the negotiations. QAnons are saying, hold fast, you panicans. You need to read the art of the deal. I've heard that numbers.
So you're a Zionist, I assume, DB. Super God mode. Bro, Israel are brutal motherfuckers. They've been openly admitting to raping men and women and children, like, as they fucking, commit genocide and shit. Like, bro, Trump simply renegotiated the JCPOA and suckered us into a $324 billion debt. I know, Titan. I mean, that's just a fact. He got a fucking far worse deal than the original Obama Iran nuclear agreement. What the fuck? As a mega person, God mode, how do you get around Trump flip-flopping on like all the issues? I don't get it. How is it that you Rees have everything literally backwards? Zionism is the cancer of the world. It is. These people are fucking disturbed.
Comments in my read the art of the deal. You don't trust. And at some point, I think some people would trust a raccoon driving a forklift through Walmart. And now here we are. Talks have fallen apart. Negotiations suspended. Okay. The RRGC has now begun blockade again. Said that the peace deals are canceled, and they're blocking the Strait of Hormuz again, which is awesome. Iran declares the Strait of Hormuz closed. It was literally only open for a few hours, and America's done sent its blockade away.
Close the strait
totally
again.
unnecessary to begin with, right? But right now we have everybody blaming everybody else, and the same people who were celebrating a few days ago are now trying to explain why everything looks like a clown show. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. I think Tucker Carlson has said it best. What we're seeing is in 100 days, Iran defeated the United States, and basically it's the end of America. It really looks to be that way.
But you probably never imagined that the end of American empire would come in a little over 100-day conflict with a little rogue state on the Persian Gulf that has the 34th largest economy in the world, a country called Iran, which generations of Americans have been raised to believe is crazy and dangerous, but basically irrelevant and certainly not civilized and in no way capable of affecting.
I don't know about this guy. Seems very U.S. traitorous liberal. Are you talking about me, or are you talking about Black survival, or Black Scout survival? Bro, he voted for Trump. The dude that I'm watching that's playing these videos, it was hardcore Trumper, dude.
America's place in the global hierarchy. You just couldn't imagine that would happen. But you probably...
Trucker Patriot 1776 thought that Iranians were cave dwellers. He did. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like a guy who burns down his house because he wants a new kitchen. Then he stands in the driveway explaining technically how the fire was part of the renovation process. Brother, the house is gone. I don't care what the blueprint says. The part I find fascinating, though, is Trump's biggest political threat isn't the Democrats. The Democrats were not ever voting for him anyway. The real danger was disappointing his own people. Because the people who helped him put him back into office weren't looking for another Middle East adventure and skyrocketing gas prices.
Nope.
They weren't looking for another endless foreign policy mess. They weren't looking for another situation where America gets dragged into conflicts halfway around the world while cities back home look like somebody gave the budget committee a crack pipe. We wanted America first, man. This would have been the greatest comeback story in the history of the world.
Try to get a video of it on my way to work, but there's a fucking house on my way to work that used to be decked out with MAGA Trump. Now it says fucking Trump fucking sucks, fuck Trump and all this shit. I'm gonna get a video of it on my way home. For real.
World. It would have. The man was facing indictments. There was a false flag attempt and maybe a WWE on his ear. And this would have made the greatest comeback story in history. But this is the biggest fumble that you can make.
Funny is not all of MAGA, but a fuck ton of MAGA are actually calling the Butlers, the Pennsylvania thing, Thomas Crook's false flag type shit, which I think it was staged. Good morning, James. How you doing, brother? At least Trump can go out saying he whooped some dusty Iranian ass and took some of their oil. Fuck yeah, man. MAGA baby. MAGA baby.
That's what we voted for. Whether you
Hell
agree
yeah.
with us or not, that's what we thought or we believed we were getting. And now most of us, right, we're looking at this situation and asking one simple question. What was the point?
Let me ask you, God mode, how is Israel like you support them mostly? Bro, they literally control all our politicians pretty much. Like, why are you cool with that? I don't understand. Ultrafly, what up? How you doing? It seems that the left has lost all of its critical thinkers. This dude's not left, bro. This dude's hardcore MAGA. He's turned on Trump like most people have.
What was the point? Now, on the other side, you got people arguing the exact opposite. They say the administration didn't go far enough, didn't push hard enough.
I assume Lindsey Graham.
Didn't finish the job, did not apply enough pressure. So let's take inventory. The America First people are angry. The Israel First people are angry. His biggest donor, Miriam Adelson, the real MAGA, by the way. MAGA stands for Miriam Adelson Governs America. She has thrown Trump under the bus. You could have been the greatest president of all. Mr. President, you have gravely harmed the human interests of the enlightened world. And you may be remembered forever as the president who brought about America's humiliation. You betrayed us, the Israelis. In a single moment, the contempt you once faced suddenly seems so justified and logical. Wow. Now, she owns that paper, by the way. Long owned by the Adelsons, published an article calling Trump a traitor.
I do believe that's like the Dunning-Kruger effect, where your confidence is like through the fucking roof, but your actual knowledge is below the floorboards, which is fucking ridiculous. It's true for the most part with a lot of people.
An embarrassment of failure, and that he deserved the ridicule and hate that he got. Wow. Incredible. See, the problem is when you become a megalomaniac and you believe that people worship you. The thing is that the problem lies in that they probably just believe in the same things that you're saying. It doesn't mean you can go rogue and do whatever you want.
I don't support Iran. I don't think we should have been there. We shouldn't have been fighting another Middle East war, dude. Yeah, it's definitely not fucking left versus right. Anybody that buys into the left versus right argument, you are doing exactly what these elite pedophile pieces of shit want you to do. It's definitely not left versus right, bro. It's top versus the bottom, rich versus the poor. And they're literally pillaging our fucking money. They all just get richer and richer. Fuck all the fucking people.
Want. Okay. Trump, in my opinion, was chasing ego. Okay. He's also chasing self-enrichment.
Yep.
He's setting up business deals with Qatar. And it's funny, Laura Loomer says Tucker Carlson takes money from Qatar. Literally, the Trumps, Don Sr., Jr., and Eric, are getting business deals with the Saudis, Qatar, got a jet from Qatar, like real, talking about taking Qatari money. So self-enrichment, and also the fact is that ego, thinking that you can pretty much do whatever. And whenever Marjorie Taylor Greene abandoned ship, he said, I am MAGA. What I say is MAGA. So that ego has led down to this road where now everyone hates you because you were trying to appease one group to get elected. And once you got elected, then you started trying to appease the donors. Probably told the donors, look, I'm just going to go ahead and say these things to get voted in. Once they get voted in, then I'm going to appease you. But then it got, the sad thing that happened was that midterms are coming. And if he loses, he's probably getting impeached. War crimes. I mean, I'm talking bad stuff.
Does anybody ever actually get tried at the Hague and like convicted at the Hague? Because I'm convinced these fuckers just get away with everything. All the people that do these crazy war crimes. Like, what the fuck? I want to go to Israel. I would never step foot in Iran. So, like, bro, you understand Israel and fucking the people they're fighting have been fighting for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. We shouldn't be over there, man. Is this guy a fucking school teacher? Brother, I'm a college professor. I'm a goddamn college professor. All right?
Little girls were killed. And so you can't lose the midterm. So now we got to rein back. We got to rein back. And now you just alienated yourself to everybody. That's the problem. When you're not a man of conviction and you don't stand on principles, that's the problem. Because you can float the way the wind blows. And eventually you're going to piss off some people. Unfortunately, you piss off people like you and us, and we just complain about it. We may vote different the next election. People like
Joe, I agree with you on some shit, but just not. Dude, the Trump got voted in office because people are very naive and gullible, and Trump manipulated everybody that voted for him with fear and hatred. Now we're having fucking UFC fighting events at the on the White House lawn, dude. The government should be as minimal as possible. There should be no government and UFC shit. That's it. It's just waiting and breeds corruption, dude. It's so disgusting. It is.
like Miriam Adelson that have a lot of money. They have a lot of resources, and they can make a lot of things happen
we've ever had. Period.
to you that
Talk shit on
the
YouTube.
finger will never get pointed back to them.
All anti-American.
So
What's funny to me is you were like, bro, I'm a fucking homegrown, red, white, and blue-blooded, a fucking American, dude. And you seem to think that calling out my corrupt president makes me hate America. It does not.
a lot of times, that's why it's just good to do what you say and say what you do. Easy way to live your life. You know, the best piece of advice I can give you is long as you do right, you never feel wrong. It's that simple. Now, JD Vance took and tried to basically calm down the Israelis.
That Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him, but maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying to me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways,
Israel's only been existed for about 70 years. I thought fucking Israel was like mentioned in the Bible and shit. Is that not true? What the fuck? How can you know the right decisions when you don't have the information? What information don't I have?
very personally attacked the president of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world. And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path, but to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the president of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars.
Fuck that, bro. Fuck you. Fuck Israel. The fact that we fund their war anyway is stunning to me. Bro, we're in massive fucking debt as it is, and we're funding Israel's fucking war. What the fuck, dude? It's insane, man.
See, that's a problem. Why is that? Why is all of our tax dollars doing that? You know, another thing is, why is JD Vance wear so much makeup? I mean, really, you're a man, dude. You're a man. Who cares?
Warfare.
Who cares if you have blemishes on camera, bro?
It's absolutely rich versus poor, top versus the bottom. Anybody that's still doing the left and right argument shit, they're off message, off point, because our government is the one fucking us all, not your neighbors, not your libitard neighbors or your fucking mega cunt, mega hat wearing neighbors. It's our government, dude, the big government. The big corrupt government.
Donald Trump wears a lot of makeup too. It's weird, dude. I just think it's weird. You know, I mean, you're not an actor for a film. Like, just
So you agree we shouldn't shouldn't have helped Ukraine either? No, I'm all for helping a country fighting for freedom, dude, against Russia. Like, who invaded them, dude? I don't mind supplying them with some weapons. But fuck Israel, bro. We even give them money. We fund their college. We fund their health care, dude. Israel literally controls all of our politicians besides like 3. Thomas Massey was one of them. He's only got a few months left because Trump and his big Israel elite PACs had him voted out. Most money ever put up against a candidate in like history, I'm pretty sure. They put up against Thomas Massey, the one guy who does not take a single penny of AIPAC money.
JD was on The View the other day, man, and he had just like more cake on his face than all the girls from The View combined.
POV,
sorry I went on that tangent, but it just irritates me. These men wearing makeup. But you see how the tides have turned, man. If everybody leaves the restaurant angry, the food probably sucked. And that's where we are.
You've never worked a real job in your life. Bro, dude, I did construction my whole life. Flooring, roofing, framing. Some of the hardest jobs you can do. I work in a factory now, but I did construction my whole life, bro. I've done blacktop. I've done concrete. A fuck ton of roofs. A fuck ton of houses. Building them, top to bottom, inside and out, finishing and everything. So you people just don't know what you're talking about. Okay, you just don't.
Now, here's the thing that nobody wants to admit. Politics does have an ego problem. I mean, look at this post
Absolutely.
here. We didn't meet out of desperation. Iran did. They are finished. We'll play it out the 60 days. They'll get no money, not 10 cents. The thing is that doesn't come from a position of strength. It just doesn't sound like it, okay? But going back to what I just said, now, politics has an ego problem, but it's not true. Politics is an ego problem. Everybody thinks they're the smartest guy in the room. Everybody thinks they're 10 moves ahead. Everybody thinks they're playing chess. And every now and then, reality walks in and flips over the chessboard. We've watched it happen our entire life, man. Presidents change. Parties change. The name changes. The pattern evolves. People start believing their own mythology. And that's what we're seeing right now. Donald Trump believing his own mythology. And once that happens, bad decision starts. Right? They start. Then bad decisions start looking like good decisions. Because nobody around them will say no. And that's dangerous. Now, speaking of bad decisions, can we talk about the reflecting pond here? My gosh. Boys and girls, if there's a better symbol of government efficiency, I haven't seen it. $14 million. $14 million. And the result looks like somebody escaped from a toxic waste facility. Paint peeling, the water's looking terrible, algae has taken over. It looks like this stuff is alive. Man, I have seen duck ponds behind trailer parks with better quality control than this. Really. And honestly, think if you gave a group of Marines a skid steer in a weekend, they could have done a better job and still had enough money left over for a couple of beers. $14 million. The government spent $14 million on making water worse. That should be impossible. Here we are. It's almost impressive. Not good impressive, like watching somebody actually look.
I'm 100% pro-America, bro.
Not figure out where they're going, right? That's where we are. That we can't figure out where we're going. Locking yourself out your house is impressive. Driving without looking is impressive. It's crazy, man. Don't give them any more money. All they're going to do is ruin water and send it to Israel. Come on. Come on. Now, before I end this, because while politicians are fighting and the MAGA influencers are defending all this, everybody's pulling each other's hair on social media. There are still Americans who deserve recognition.
What pond are we talking about?
Major capers, okay? U.S. Marine, Vietnam, a warrior, a man whose courage was recognized by the people around him long before the paperwork caught up. He saved his teammates in 1967, heat of Vietnam. He was an enlisted man, got a battlefield commission. Incredible. He was took heavy fire, severely wounded, and saved people, his team. Now, he was recommended in 1967 for the Medal of Honor. Those people that were doing the paperwork died in Vietnam. So unfortunately, it didn't ever happen. In between 2008 and 2010, he was recommended again during the Obama administration. They downgraded it to a Silver Star, which he did receive.
Yep. Just a shameless plug real quick. For any closeted MAGA in the chat, You can come check out my OnlyFans account. DM me on my Instagram. It's the same name as this channel here, and I'll give you like a fat discount. And you can come to my OnlyFans and watch me pull my butt apart and fucking get real freaky deaky in there. It's fire. A lot of closeted MAGA love it over there. So feel free to message me and I'll get you a very nice discount, like 75% off, bro. We just had the Jingle Ball special back during the holidays. We're going to have a new special coming up soon. It's coming soon. Copy. It's a little pricey, but 75% off. You'll love it.
Thank God.
Worth it.
He was awarded this even after the time constraints, this Medal of Honor, because he deserves it. This guy, true legend in the Marine Corps, in the reconnaissance community. In this picture here, he was wounded from Vietnam when he took it. He was a recruiting poster, essentially. Ask a Marine. But think about that, man, decades waiting. Administrations came and went, presidents came and went, and the world changed. But eventually the truth got there. That's worth remembering. Because courage doesn't care who's in office, and honor doesn't care who's trending on social media. Valor doesn't care what party someone belongs to, because valor lasts. And honestly, that's probably the most positive thing that I've seen all week. And I wanted to touch on it. But getting back to Iran, man, where does all this go? I don't know. Maybe everything works out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe the negotiations recover. Highly doubtful. But hopefully people calm down. But they probably won't. What I do know is this. When everybody starts claiming victory while simultaneously being pissed off at each other, time to pay attention.
Comparing Israel's genocide to fucking Ukraine fighting, self-defense from a fucking invading their country. Ukraine's fighting for freedom. I have no problem supporting some American. We give them some of our stockpiled weapons. Then we have more weapons built in America. It creates American jobs. And we refill our stockpile with newer shit. So, I'm not against funding people's self-defense, but Israel, that's not what we're seeing in Israel, dude.
Because something isn't adding up.
No.
And eventually, reality collects the bill. Anyway, guys, we're going to stay frosty, stay strapped.
It's nice to see all these MAGA people like him and Valhalla firearm training calling Trump out. Holy shit, there's David Benoit. Why the fuck won't this go down, dude? It won't let me scroll for some reason. I don't like it. I don't have like a bar either down the side. JD Vance meme is fucking
Donald J.
great.
Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the president of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in.
Oof, ouch, just an utter bitch slap. And what he said there is also correct. We pay for fucking all of it. And the audacity, and I don't support Donald Trump at all, you guys know that, but the audacity of those fucking people to attack Trump, the biggest goddamn simp ever in the world for your country when nobody else.
Did you believe in Charlie Kirk? Sup God mode, super God mode. Charlie Kirk actually called Israel out for trying to do ethnic cleansing and doing a genocide in Palestine and on the West Bank. It's disturbing, dude. And we fund the shit. We give Israel the money to bomb children, civilians, women. It's disgusting, dude. Truly disgusting.
Else in this country supports you, you're going to attack him? Ooh, bold strategy.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
So again, what is happening here? JD Vance is all of a sudden the our greatest ally, America first politician out of nowhere, huh? Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I have my theory about what's really going on here, and I think I've actually told you guys on the channel multiple times, so it's not going to be new. But let's take a look at what Donald Trump has come out and said even more recently. Also, great panel here. You've got two of Jeffrey Epstein's best friends and Marco Rubio.
I'm not saying they shouldn't protect themselves. I'm saying when two drones are shot into the desert and drop harmlessly, you don't have to knock down buildings in Beirut. They could behave better. And frankly, they could do a better job. I love them as a partner. They were terrific, but they could do a much better job with Hezbollah. On that, I don't think they're doing well. And I feel very bad for Lebanon. Lebanon's been, it was a great culture. It was a great, they had the professors, the doctors.
Check this out. Just more shit that really is pissing off the Zionists. Here's Donald Trump talking about how Iran needs to be able to have their own ballistic missiles.
Such as the conventional ballistic missiles, which we'll be talking about, and support. I mean, they have to have some because other people have some. You got to have some. Somebody said you shouldn't give them more. And I have guys. I like some of these guys.
Oh my God!
But I don't think they're smart. Sir, you shouldn't let them have any missile. I said, well, what am I going to do? We're going to let Saudi Arabia have missiles, but they can't have them. Yes, sir. It doesn't work that way.
Look at poor Marco Rubio, just pissed because you know who's advised him this exact thing? Marco Rubio standing right behind him, as Donald Trump literally just called Marco Rubio dumb to his face. Because we know that Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, and John Ratcliffe all tried to stop this deal from going through. Wow. Again, trouble in paradise. Now, we also need to talk about where we started and where we're at now, because again, Donald Trump, JD Vance are all of a sudden just completely flip-flopped and nobody knows what's happened. And again, these Zionists are crashing out, but this is where we started. Remember regime change. Remember, take to the streets and we'll rise up and we'll protect you, Iranians. Don't worry, we got your back. You remember that?
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
Yes, remember, rise up, take back your country. Raza Pahlavi is on the way to save the day. Remember that? Oh, here's JD Vance yesterday.
Of 95 million people, where again, the president of the United States never said that his goal was to install Reza Pahlavi to become the new leader of Iran. What he said is, if the Iranian people want to rise up, great. That's their business. That's between them and their government.
Oh, who fucking told you? From day one, we were laughing at these people that were the Raza Pahlavi Iranians taken to the streets. Now, it's always been a complete joke. Those people are all Zionists. We knew that from the very beginning, and kind of makes sense, right? You think about who are these people, the Raza Pahlavi Iranians here in the United States? None of them are in Iran, by the way. And the reason for that is because all of the people who supported his dad, the Shah, when the Shah was overthrown, they all fled the country. So, of course, the people that supported the Shah are gone out of Iran. Actual Iranians don't support that guy. They never wanted him to begin with anyway. But it's just hilarious because Trump did promise all of his Zionist buddies, don't worry, regime change and Raza Pahlavi will be installed. Yeah. And I told you guys from day one, that would never, ever fucking happen. Now, we're going to take... Okay, sorry. We're going to take a look at the response from all the Zionists like Mark Levine and Ben Shapiro, because, again, they are not happy with any of this. But before we do that, how is the deal looking, the MOU? How is it looking? Well, not great, because we've actually...
This guy has a fucking green beret fought for this country, served many tours, I do believe. This dude's great. So was Black Scout that I was watching.
Confirmed that the 14-point memorandum that we've shown on this channel, including giving Iran $300 billion, is real. It is accurate. That's the real MOU. The number one stated stipulation in that is that Israel must leave Lebanon and stop bombing them. And they are currently bombing Lebanon right now. So reports are coming out that Iran is about to say, fuck it, deals off, because again, our greatest ally won't stop bombing Lebanon. It says here, Iran has abruptly torched the 60-day negotiation period, accusing the U.S. of violating provision 1. It is the very first provision of the newly signed MOU. Tehran argues that the Israeli strikes in southern Lebanon amounted to a direct breach of the agreement less than 24 hours after the ink was dry, declaring the framework compromised almost before it had a chance to begin. Literally the shortest peace deal in history. Now, we'll see what happens. This thing's going to go back and forth. Nobody actually expects like peace to ring out here. But however, one of the big things to know is that we only have 13 days left of our strategic oil reserves. For those of you who don't know, the reason why gas prices aren't hitting $7, $8, $9 a gallon right now is because we have been selling our own strategic oil reserves on the consumer market in the United States to artificially keep gas prices low. We again are down to, according to all of the oil execs, and Donald Trump just said this at the G7 summit yesterday, 13 days left, which means we could very easily see oil shock like we have never seen before 2-3 weeks from now if this conflict doesn't get ended now. And Donald Trump knows that, but who else knows that? Iran also knows that. So again, they have us by the proverbial nutsack, and we have our greatest ally also doing everything they can to try to ruin this deal. So, woof, tough place to be in right now. Again, we don't know what's going to happen, but I'm sure some big things are most likely coming. Now, before we talk about is J.D. Vance the new America First savior, I give my real theory on what's going on. Let's take a look at the one thing that I do love, of course, is watching the Zionists just crash the fuck out and freak out. And they are so mad. They fell for it again. Well, go figure, huh? So this is obviously good news for everybody. But let's take a look at some of the things they're saying.
Gas is going down a little bit because of what Trump and them have done with like releasing like shit from the reserves and shit. Like it's what he was just saying right there is true. In 3 weeks, it's going to go right back up. I'm pretty sure they just said, yeah, the Strait is closed. The Strait of Hormuz is fucking closed again.
About this deal and Donald Trump. I found this on one of the Zionist accounts. Wanted Donald J. Trump for collaboration with the Islamic Republic. Last seen, White House South Lawn UFC stage. Caution, extremely dangerous. All right, next one from an account called The Political J. So you know this is going to be the best take ever. It says, how bad is the Trump-Vance deal? Now, all this does is goes through the MOU, but look at what the actual headline of this is. All right, it says complete unmitigated disaster, one of the worst foreign policy moments of our era. This is on the entire Trump administration. Trump, Vance, Rubio, Hegseth, all of them. Now, the Zionists being pissed is actually a huge, huge problem for.
We've actually been taking millions of barrels from Iran. They didn't know this. They do now. Like, bro, he is so stupid. Our president is so fucking dumb. He is the dumbest, most corrupt piece of shit president we've ever had.
Donald Trump and MAGA, because MAGA and Trump, of course, are trying to spin this MOU into a narrative that this is the United States winning the war. Well, the big problem with that is all of these Zionist commentators are saying the exact opposite. They're all crashing out saying that Donald Trump is a traitor and this is the worst deal on the planet. So they can't even sell the bullshit slop to their own base. And here you go on Fox News, little Benny.
This MOU appears to be, just from the text, a disaster that does not achieve any of the actual signal goals that were set by the administration at the beginning. There were effectively 5 goals that were set by the administration at the beginning. One was ending the nuclear program, not just nuclear weapons, no nuclear enrichment, zero enrichment. That is not in the deal. Ballistic missiles ended. That is not in the deal. And the president today suggested that ballistic missiles should actually continue to be held by the Iranians because the Saudis, our allies, also hold
ballistic missiles. Then you have the support of terrorism. That is not part of the deal. Anything that looks like an attempt to end terrorism. A permanent opening of the Strait of Hormuz toll-free. Not only is that not in the deal appears to have a provision allowing Iran and Oman to attempt to toll the strait after 60 days. And then finally, the idea that Iran would receive some sort of sanctions relief after all of those things happen. We are already seeing from day one relief in their ability to ship oil out of Iran. In my opinion, the Vice President of the United States, the chief negotiator on this particular project, has not well served the president.
Oh, there you go. Now, all of a sudden, for the first time in his life, he can tell the truth. And again, that's on Fox News, where they're just telling the truth about how fucking horrible this deal is. And I also, did you see what he did there at the end? Do you see what the Zionists are trying to do? They're trying to make JD Vance the fall guy, the scapegoat. Now, this is going to get interesting, as partly why JD.
To guess almost high. Donald fucking Trump is a cunt traitor to America. And he's getting an art in a ballroom and probably a third term. I don't believe that, but he's trying. He's absolutely trying.
Vance is coming out as America first, as he's going to take on the Israeli lobby, right? Well, maybe. We'll find out. But as you can see, trouble in paradise, like I said. And there's nothing sweeter than watching Mark Levine crash out and throw his crybaby temper tantrums on X.
Donald Trump.
Mark says in response to the comment, Netanyahu at a press conference, we still don't know what the agreement will be. Mark says, appalling. They fought beside us. No, no, Mark, they didn't, by the way. Now we celebrate talks with the enemy, and the enemy knows more than our ally. This is shocking. Oh, and you know how our greatest ally has always claimed they don't have nuclear weapons? Well, they're just straight up admitting it now.
Strongly disagree with something the president said today. I heard him say one other time, too, which is if we hadn't attacked Iran, Israel would not exist. It would have been destroyed. That's simply not true. But Israel has some very, very powerful weapons that it has not used. I don't know this firsthand. Just go online and read about it. It's a secret that's not so secretive. And they've had him for decades.
They're just straight up admitting it now. And why are they admitting it? Sounds kind of like maybe a veiled threat towards us, doesn't it? Now, let's wrap this thing up with my theory on JD Vance and what's really happening here. I think there's a couple different options, but I think really what we're looking at is JD Vance he's a very astute politician, right? He's like Gavin Newsom. He's a chameleon. He will believe anything that he's told to believe so as that it's popular politically. And what he's looking at is the polls on the country's support for our greatest ally, and it doesn't exist anymore. And he said there himself, literally no one in the world supports Israel other than Donald Trump. And so what he's saying is writing on the wall, and what I'm sure he's looking at is, how do I get back to being popular with the Republican coalition, including America First conservatives? Well, now he's going to be the anti-Israel America First guy. But is that who he actually is? Of course not. We all know that JD Vance was raised in a laboratory by Peter Thiel, who is massively in bed with Israel, Epstein, and our greatest ally. We all know that. Palantir has been used by our greatest ally for everything that they do in Gaza. We all know that small tech is planning on implanting JD Vance in as president. And so what I think we have here is that Donald Trump is the Trojan horse that is going to get JD Vance into office. And let me explain. So JD Vance currently is super, super unpopular. He's lost almost all his favorability. Marco Rubio is way past him in the polls now. And so what I think that they're going to do is hang Donald Trump out to dry. And then after the midterms, Donald Trump will most likely resign out of health concerns or be impeached. And JD Vance will become Mr. President. Now, that is so, so important. A lot of people haven't thought about this or talked about this yet for 2028. The reason why JD Vance becoming president now or before 2028 is then he will be the automatic Republican nominee, as that he is Mr. President, right? Going into 2028, which means there will be no Republican primary process. He doesn't have to run against Rubio or Thomas Massey or potentially any of these other candidates that are going to starch him in the 2028 election. He automatically bypasses all of it, just like we saw with Kamala Harris when Joe Biden stepped down, right? She didn't have to go through the primary process, and she would have never, ever been the Democrats' choice if they actually reopened the primaries. So then he becomes this America Firster up until he gets reelected in 2028. And then we get the real JD Vance, which brings in small tech, Palantir, all of that, and brings in the surveillance state. That is far more likely to be what we're actually seeing happen here. And if nothing else, this is just a play for the midterms. Okay. Republicans have to get out of this conflict. They got to try to put it in the rearview mirror of voters' brains, right?
I think if Trump doesn't have it rigged, they should get destroyed at these midterms coming up. Oh, fuck no. Trump ain't resigning. Trump will never resign. Trump is a piece of total dog shit. An absolute piece of trash. But yeah, I pretty much got to jump off here and get some sleep. I got to work tonight, tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning, but I'm at work all weekend, so that fucking sucks. Show you guys these new shoes I ordered. Your new work shoes. Not right. Let me get this pictures of open. Open the fucking picture. Where the fuck did the picture go? Yeah, I ordered some new work shoes. These DCs. They're composite toe. Which is cool. I can't. Yeah, everybody have a good one. Everybody have a great Saturday. I'll be back in the morning. Or where the fuck, dude? What is going on here? In the morning, and then Monday morning, mainly, will be like a better day. I'm off. I'm gonna be off Sunday. Hey, WTF ever 2? Thanks for the 5 gifted memberships, dude. Thank you. Much appreciation, bro. Mike Oxbig, didn't know you were here. Good to see you. Everybody have a good one. I'll be back in the morning. Any Trump supporters, fuck your daddy, Trump. He's an absolute piece of dog shit. And he can fuck all the way off. Copy that? Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, everybody have a good one. I got to get me some sleep. I got a 12-hour shift ahead of me. POV, everybody. Ultrafly, Luke, Mike and Joe. Super God mode. Everybody have a good one. Fuck Donald Trump. Every day, all day. And deuces to the good people. Love y'all. See you soon.